sparks and flings and falls and panics. She is young and hasn't yet been taught the full parameters of the forest. Some rigid power unearths her like lightning returning to the clouds before she falls back to the ground in a jumbled mess. Her eyes flitting between the trees like a lost child searching for its parents in supermarket aisles. She is a puppet, and panic is pulling her strings. The quiet is busy if you don't know what you're listening to. She sparks and flings and falls and 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 sparks and flings. Her batteries are drained dry as her tongue, and she lies in a quiet defeat. The woods chatter and squabble around her. 2 trees mark the edge of the forest. At this altitude, there is rarely a clear sky throughout spring, as the winds draw clouds over the sodden earth to snuff out the sun. It gets dark early here. They live in it. Teach each other. This is our path. Move from A to B through to Z, then begin again. Do, re, mi, and whatever else follows. The young males find trees and scratch the velvet from their horns. They need to find their place in the hierarchy of the herd. Who can piss the highest and run the fastest? Ready yourselves. Ensure you are dressed appropriately. Sensible footwear, no loose zips. Remember, do, re, mi, and through to Z. Size up your position. Check them out. Fancy your odds? Begin. Two trees mark the edge of the forest. At this altitude, there is rarely a clear sky throughout spring, as the winds draw clouds over the sodden earth to snuff out the sun. It gets dark early here. She walks into it. This knitted mass of trees is thick, like a loom waiting to be cast off and begun anew. The moon might look out in intervals where branches are hatched over her head. All of her senses are straining, listening for something. The quiet is busy. This forest has a presence in it that you can feel in your inner ear. Something like a treehouse that has become a home for animal activity, or a loft full of fiberglass and dust with dim light bulbs that startle moths into a rallying attack, or a small cage for hamsters that no one could fight as they do, sleeping under sawdust and chewed plastic rooftops. Peer into the treehouse, into the loft, into the cage. There is rustling. There is breathing in the stillness. There is something in this forest as there is something in that treehouse, in the loft, in the cage. She just hasn't seen it yet. She just hasn't seen it. Stand with your eyes closed. Listen. How far out can you hear? Check the distance. It's a long way to run, but close enough to clock the sound of twigs cracking under footfall, or of the trees just stretching. They moan in conversation with each other and the night. Can you hear the leaves gossip on the wind? They pass stories like Chinese whispers, like flocking birds, tales of races in the undergrowth. Something runs, something else chirps, hoots, croaks. The same thing as before. Quiet is busy if you don't know what you're listening to.
This knitted mass of trees is thick like a loom waiting to be cast off and begun anew. The moon might look out in intervals, but branches are hatched overhead. Stand, listen, look, peer into the treehouse, into the loft, into the cage. See them, see her. The quiet is busy if you don't know what you're listening to.